Hello, it's Dr. Darnise, and welcome into the Lifestyle Salon. Listen, today we're talking about money. We're talking about money. And why? Because that is part of our wellness, is part of our personal development, is part of showing up and being the best that we can do. Now, let me explain, because this is something that's been on my heart for a while, and I've been figuring out how to present it without it sounding, scammy or without it sounding, suspect. What I want to show you, and I'm working with clients and helping them access $100 to $150,000 in business revenue credit funding. And what I want to do is show more Black women how to achieve that. Because right now, even as you listen to me, don't turn away because you're thinking, oh, this is only for other people. This is only for businesses. One of the mistakes we make as Black people and Black women in particular is that we don't think that money is available to us. We don't understand how credit and financing works. And as someone who's been in business for myself for, I don't know, I would say I was a life coach before it was even fashionable to call yourself a life coach. So at least for 20 years, right? And I have over the years learned a thing or two. I have been in some really high powered rooms. I have learned from people who make a lot of money, who are very wealthy people, and I've been able to learn from them in terms of how they think. What we don't understand as people who are middle class, even upper middle class, is how money works in this capitalist society. And many of us, we feel like we're turned off from it, but what I want to share with you that you really have to get is, how do I maximize it for myself and my family? That's the lesson. Come on in. That's the lesson. It is not that we need to be expecting this system to crash and burn and then everything will be okay. Because let me tell you something, if this system, the United States of America and its capitalist system, crashes and burns, we're not going to be okay. It's going to take a good amount of time to regroup. So, what I want to do is help Black women, especially here on my channel, because I focus on us as Black women, get your money together. And there is a very specific way and process that this can happen. And so, what I want to do is invite you to have a consult with me. I want to let you know. I mean, I'm doing this already. I'm already doing it with clients. And I said, I need to go to my YouTube community and I need to let them know what's up and invite you in. And so this is by invitation only. That means we're going to have a consult together because I want to make sure that I'm working with women who have the right mindset, who understand, like, yeah, this is something I need to learn. Right. So as a process, it just give you, in a nutshell, because you're like, what are you talking about? In a nutshell, right? You need to have a business structure. This country loves businesses. This country makes it very hard for us as individuals to get money, to get loans, to get, lines of credit. So you pretty much have to have a sterling corporate or credit score to get those as an individual. But what you can do is establish your business, and banks and lending institutions are much more likely to loan to you and in large amounts. It won't be, 5,000, 7,500 that you might get on your own if you have a great credit score. If you don't have a great credit score, they're going to give you what, $1,000, couple $1,000. So listen, what I'm inviting you to, in the description box, there is a link where you can have a personal consult with me. And so I'm having conversations with people because, again, I want to have like minded people who are about growth. You got to step outside your comfort zone. So, about growth, who can contribute to a community of other like minded women who are ready and willing to learn and receive from other like minded women because we are about our business. And I want other like minded women to come in and join us. So if you know, like, yeah, I know I need to learn more about how money and finance work. I want to know what that is about. Because let me tell you, it is not, an overnight thing, right? It's not like get rich quick, although pretty quick. It is pretty quick. You just have to get your ducks in a row. And by that, I mean there is a process that it takes to get your corporate structure in place. And there's a little bit of time that has to pass before you look like you are a good credit risk to banks and other institutions. And so mostly we need somebody to walk us through that process. And that's what I'm doing with my women who are, coming into this coaching group. You need somebody to walk you through the process. And so it's not just me, but there are other, people who do this, as a profession who will help you understand how to put your own portfolio together so that in 6 to 18 months, the credit card companies are just throwing money at you. And I'm not even kidding. I know it sounds crazy because when I first started learning about this, like, where did I learn about this? I learned from attending different conferences and hanging around people with a lot of money. And when they would say this kind of things, oh, I just went to the bank and I got some funding. I was like, well, what bank is that? And what do you mean you just went to the bank and got some funding? And so if you're middle class, if you come from a working class or middle class background, that's kind of foreign. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. I wasn't, my mother worked for a living and, she had to work hard for a living. She worked for American Airlines. We didn't have a lot of money, right? So that's foreign. And people tend to have a lot of shame around money. They have a lot of, shame where they don't want to share their numbers. They don't want to share their mistakes and that they have a low credit score. But when you don't share, then you don't learn how to make it better, right? So as I said, I've been in some pretty swanky spaces where people who have money, they talk about it. They talk about it as if it's a done deal. And let me tell you something, wealthy people, they don't use their own money. Please understand how this system works. Please understand how the system works. They don't use their own money. They always use borrowed money. Middle class people, working class people will think credit is bad. I don't want to be in debt. Newsflash, we're all going to die owing somebody. If it's not but the cable bill or the electric bill, when I go, there's going to be somebody wanting their money. So the thing is to learn how to manage it well. So I'm not talking about, getting money so you can just go on a cruise and buy a whole bunch of designer stuff, because that's another mistake that people make when they're not used to having money. They get a little, or they get access to money, and then they'll go out and just, kind of splurge on a lot of luxury items. And they haven't learned to think strategically. They haven't learned to think in a way that will help them build a business or help them build some longevity. And that's what we're doing. So again, look in the description box and, click on that link that says consult, private consult, and we will be able to have a conversation where I can at least give you the basics of how to get yourself positioned. Because as I said, it is going to take a little bit of time, but nowadays it doesn't take as long as it used to be. Because the thing is, you have to get your business what's called seasoned, right? Again, so that you look like you are a good risk, right? So you can't just open your bank account one day and expect to get all this credit the next day. So the thing is to start. I don't want you to say, okay, well, then I can't. No, 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 no. The thing is, oh, I need to get started. And especially if you have the idea that you want to start a business already, you already know maybe you have a side hustle. That's the people I'm looking for. You have a side hustle already. Where is that money going? Because if that money is just going into your regular bank account, you're being taxed on that as an individual. That's not what rich people do. They make money, they know how to put it someplace so they don't have to pay taxes on that money. You with your side hustle, let's say you make an extra, I don't know, $2,000. Guess what? Uncle Sam wants that, right? And so there's a difference between having a status like sole proprietor or LLC. A sole proprietor offers you no protection and no tax benefits. So let me just put that out there right now. If you're operating with your side hustle, you're a sole proprietor, there's no benefit to that. There's no benefit. So you need to understand what really will protect you legally and how to build. And that's where I say a lot of us really don't understand how money and credit work because we think that it has to be instant or else it's just too much trouble. We don't understand the paperwork. We don't understand how to get it. And as I said, it's helpful when you have somebody who does understand and can walk you through part of the process, right? And I can get you in touch with other people who understand it better than me and who can, get you your first money. That's what we're talking about today is money. As women, we tend to overgive, overgive, overgive. And then when it comes to asking to get paid, a lot of us don't know how. We feel like, oh, I don't want to ask for too much. I'll just take just this little bit. I don't want to seem greedy. I don't want to seem selfish. No, 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 no. You have to take care of yourself. Think ahead to your own retirement. Think about maybe one thing about your grandchildren. Maybe you have children who are going to go to college. Who's paying for that? Right? Money is a tool in our society. It's not the end all be all, right? But money is a tool. And we all know when you have that tool, life is easier. Life is easier. We also know that women don't know how to negotiate, right? When you interview for a job, you're offered a job. Women typically don't negotiate. We know men negotiate. They end up getting things that we never even thought to ask for because women don't think about money. Black women in particular don't think that we can have money, right? We think about scrimping and saving. We think about just covering our bills. We think about the least. How do I get by? And I'm here to tell you, it's time to think unapologetically about money and about building, right? So I'm going to just remind you, my coaching sessions are filling up because once I started talking about this, as I said, I was trying to figure out the best way to put it before people because like, oh, you got to give me $100,000. Well, yes, but that sounds weird. So, but I wanted to come and say, I'm not gatekeeping any information. This channel is about the support of Black women. And part of that is self help, personal development. Part of that is our wellness, but also our finances, right? All the things that go into making a life whole and happy. Okay. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in doing, and remember, I'm being very selective. Okay. I'm being very selective. So you want to, get your consultation. Mhm. Get your consultation, and then we'll have a conversation about what's next for you. All right. Bye for now.